Hey, hey. All right. Hold on. All right. How you guys doing tonight? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to my channel and our midnight lives. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And don't forget, I'm filling my vape pipe. I'm sorry. Don't forget, you can always join Patreon at patreon.com. You can't hear me? Yeah, I was going to say, you should be able to hear me. Because I can see the microphone. Like, I can see when it's working. So you can join Patreon at patreon.com/PURPLEXEDQT. Or you can join membership. And that's it. Hey, Willow, I was actually working. No, it's only 12:48. And Quinny, as a matter of fact, showed me something that I felt the need. I had to go live because I need to know if I am somewhat alone in my thinking, not including Quinny or Skip. But I don't know how many of you guys heard this. Hey, Angela, I don't know how many of you guys heard this. But I just want to know what you guys think of it. Because I don't believe one word of it. I think it is complete nonsense. I think that it's garbage. And I don't know why everybody is trying to make it out to be something that when it's nothing but total lies. And I'm going to show you guys why I believe it's total lies. Now, if somebody can come here and tell me where I'm wrong, I'm all for it. If someone can come here and tell me that it's proven, I'm all for it. But until then, I'm going to stick with my original that this is total BS. And I'm going to give it a little while before I play it because I know this is like a late night live. I know a lot of people are live, so people may not know it. And I don't want to have to repeat it. So, what's up, Snooks? But I'm just not buying it. I think it's total bullshit. So, hold on. This way it's nice and clear. I'll go back on camera as soon as I get this website done because it's like crazy. No, it's not from Dolly or Betty. But I'll put it to you like this. I don't know what the JLR stable thing is. I'll put it to you like this. If I was an outsider and I was... Thank you, Monkey's Mama. So you've heard it. I didn't hear it until like 20 minutes ago. Who would be the last person in this community that you would go to give secret information to? That would be Benny. Benny, I really, if I had the secret information, I'm not going to a fucking felon. Mom. Sorry. Hey.
Can you mute?
Is Phoenix up? Ask him to do it.
This, what?
Hey, what do you... Hold on a second. What? Hang on. Hang on. Hi. Alright. Anastasia, you don't know what I'm talking about? People are paranoid and weird. I agree. Hey, Pearl's mama. Okay. So, exactly, Snooks. Ben and MGL. Two last people I would go to with inside information. But let me go ahead. Is there... Yeah, there's 100 in here. I used to have this thing with Making a Murderer when we first started going live. Like, I wouldn't go live unless... I wouldn't tell anything unless like 100 people were here. I know a lot of people wait, you know, till like there's a few hundred, but hell, it's 2 o'clock, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't expect a big crowd. So this is what came across. Hey, Clarissa, this is, oh, Clarissa, did you get in Patreon? Did you get the link? I haven't even checked. I'm going to go ahead and play this, and let me know what you guys think. Whoop. Hang on.
So this
What?
is all
right. I don't know why I yelled. I don't have to yell. Hey, Nan. Outbuilding or outhouse either? Huh? Twin Cities, you're going to find out in just a moment. Where'd it go? Oh, hold on. I had too much shit on my computer. You forgot your password. Okay. Ah, shit. Wrong one. Hold on. Okay. So this is a 13-minute call that was given to somebody, some Shannon S. or whatever, and somehow it landed on my lap. So we're going to listen to it, and you guys tell me what you think.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Is this Miss Kara?
It's Carla, yes.
Carla, sorry.
It's okay.
How are you?
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right.
Long day for me. I have a whole bunch of kids, so we took them to the movies, and it was pretty hectic.
Yeah. So talk to me. What do you know and how do you know it?
Okay. First, let me explain the reason why I am not going to any type of law enforcement, because I live in a very remote area, kind of like where...
Okay, right then and there, she lost all credibility. Hey, Joseph, we just started. Right then and there, she lost all credibility with me. You're not going to go to the police and report something that you know that could help find a missing child, maybe? Lost all credibility. Now, I never even finished the whole call. I got to about 7 minutes and then I stopped because I would rather do it with you guys. So, yeah. So she has this information, but she's not going to go to the police. Okay. Clue number one, this is bullshit.
Where the Wells are from. And here, it's just, when people have made bad choices in their life and they get incarcerated and they try to report things like that, there's potential backlash. And I'm just not trying to look for that.
Okay, nobody in the history of the universe has ever gone to jail for for reporting legit facts to the police. Nobody in the history of the world has ever gone to jail for that.
In my early 20s, I made some stupid decisions and found myself in prison, and I'm just not trying to go back to any of that. So I have very good reasons why.
Okay, again, law enforcement is not on YouTube. Law enforcement would not call people like Benny and tell them what's going on and how you personally reported stuff to them. That would never happen, and it has never happened in the history of the world. Just saying.
Not going to any law enforcement to explain any of this to anybody. So
Okay.
I have been following this for, I'm going to say about 3 months. Not as long as most, I guess, but, something like this, when it hits an area, it hits pretty hard. And considering people when they have children of their own, it's hard to have to watch that unfold. So, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I really don't have much time to do much of anything with my life but take care of kids. So at night I stay up and I watch this. I watch YouTube and all these other things, and I just kind of follow and listen. I never comment. I never talk to people, none of that stuff. So,
okay, you watch YouTube, you followed the case, you never talked to anybody or chat anywhere, but the person you want to contact is Benny Keys? Okay.
I was sitting here one day, and my husband calls me, and he says, I need to tell you something. I said, okay, is there something wrong? He says, no, there's nothing wrong. He says, but you know that Summer Will's case that you've been following? I said, yeah. I said, what about it? He said, well, the guy that I work with is actually dating the social worker that's involved with this case. And I was like, oh. I said,
okay, for the guys in here, how do you think that would have came up in conversation? Just curious. For all the guys in here, forget the girls, but I've dated enough men in my life to know that, hey, B, that men do not say, hey, guess who I'm dating? I'm dating a social worker from the Wells case. Somehow I don't see that ever happening.
did you get that? He's sitting here beside me.
Oh, he's sitting next to you. No, I didn't hear him. What did he say?
He is.
Can you? Hey, how you?
She's not just the social worker controlling the case, but she is controlling the youngest child of the Wells, of the boys. She's actually like she's a psychologist, social worker. She works for CPS, but she's also a licensed therapist as well.
Okay.
Right. So he.
Okay, just to let you guys know, a licensed therapist makes way more money than a CPS worker. So I'm not saying it's not possible that she's both, but I find it odd that she would be both. Because as a licensed therapist, you can make 4 times. CPS workers make nothing. So, just saying.
I don't know if the other children, but I know that he is actually in what they call an Isaiah house. And this child, she says that he just kind of stares at walls. And
okay, Isaiah house. Don't we know that? Yeah, she called Benny instead of the cops. Don't we know that name, the Isaiah house? Wasn't somebody doing something? Weren't they raising money for Isaiah House, and now all of a sudden the youngest one is in Isaiah House? The youngest, I don't know. I can't say for sure, but I don't think so.
Doesn't talk much, and he's just kind of zoned out majority of his day. So they have a hard time even getting him to respond to anything they say to him.
This is the youngest boy.
Right.
Okay.
So he goes on to tell me, and I'm like, well, let me talk to the guy you work with, because I want to hear this from him, So I get on the phone with him, and I start asking him, what do you know about this? And he's like, well, she's dead. I said, well, how do you know that? He said, because my girlfriend is the social worker that deals with the youngest child. He's in what they call an Isaiah house, and he's traumatized from the whole incident. And I said, well, how do you know that she's no longer alive? And he said, because according to his girlfriend, that the Wells, both parents apparently had set something up because they owed a lot of money to somebody, and when it come time to pay, Don couldn't pay. So they were actually directed to give not just Summer, but the youngest boy up for ransom. So it was both of them that were supposed to be given up. Something had happened that day, and everything fell apart. It went wrong. And
now, mind you, they're not going to the police with this. Why bother going to the police? This wouldn't be information the cops would want, because they'd be afraid that they're getting backlash. Are you fucking kidding me?
During the time that they were taken from a home, apparently, I don't know if he said it was at the house when this happened or if it was away, but when the boy and the girl realized what was happening, Summer apparently tried to run, and the little boy ran, and something happened to where Summer got hurt, and they actually watched her cut that little girl's throat. And this is what he's told the social worker.
Okay. Hold up. She thinks Laura the Candle Lady is smart. I'm telling you. Okay. So exactly. What a bunch of bullshit. But let's take it one step further. Let's analyze this. Now, this is the second time I'm hearing this part, and it just makes me realize that I was right the first time when I said this is total bullshit. So she apparently won't go to the police about this. There was blood. You know, Summer ran and there was blood and they cut her throat and the little boy ran, but the little boy, I guess, got away and there's no blood anywhere. So you cut someone's throat, you think there'd be one drop of blood somewhere? There's no blood anywhere.
But she's not allowed to say anything because of an NDA.
An NDA act.
Newsflash. The only person in the entire universe that can get covered by an non-disclosure would have nothing to do with a murder. The only person that can legally not report a murder is a priest. That's it, during a confession. That is the only person in the universe that can not report a murder is a priest during confession. That's it. Everybody else has to report a murder. So her saying it's an NDA, she can't report this to police, and Benny believes this. And people are buying this. They're actually believing this. Oh my.
There's her as well as the guy that works with my husband, and like 5 local law enforcement knows about this, but according to him, nobody can say anything about this because she could actually go to jail for telling and lose.
Okay. So I don't know, some girl that called Benny Snooks. So, is it Peekaboo? I don't watch Serafina. This is the exact details that Serafina, the psychic, said happened to Summer. Well, isn't that interesting? Okay. That's pretty funny. Yeah, NDA Act has nothing to do with murder. Sorry.
Lose, what job she has and anything that comes.
Well, I'm not. So it's been like, so it's reported essentially. Like this isn't a thing that I need to report necessarily, because the way I guess I understand it is that some law enforcement already knows, correct?
Well,
they do, but
it's kind of know how the law enforcement works. This is not it's like a tight-knit group of buddies.
Yeah, these guys have not reported it to anybody that needs to know.
In fear of their
own families being backlash.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. She won't call anyone. She won't call the police, but she'll call Benny Keys. Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
You said
the only reason that I chose to come to you, I mean, there's how many people I guess I could have went.
No,
I don't really
understand.
know why I chose you. I guess just you seem sensible and you could push something where you need to go. I don't know.
Okay, so the only reason I chose Benny is because Benny's a felon, and I guess that's the right one to go to, a felon. Okay.
I can. I absolutely can. What I need to do. So because it sounds,
the clothes that you spoke about last night, that the evidence is that's the young boy's clothes. That's his size.
Okay.
He's not no slouch of a kid at all.
No, he's not.
No, he's the youngest.
It's her husband. Now, the part about him being quiet, I can't confirm or deny. The part about him, her going into a river, I can't confirm or deny. That part I don't know.
Yeah, I understand.
Even though he's the youngest, he's not no slouch by no means.
No, I will tell you this. Me personally, I don't believe in the whole mediumship thing. That stuff wigs me out because I'm full on
I don't believe in the whole medium thing, but I'm stealing her entire story. Okay.
Christian. That stuff just sends me into a whirlwind inside of my emotions in my head. So I don't personally believe in that stuff, but I did, however, listen to a couple of those from the lady that apparently had some evidence that cracked another case with the Tali and another child that was murdered.
Donna Serafina.
Okay, right. Okay. So we were listening to those, and a lot of things that she touched.
Okay, I didn't hear I didn't hear this part either. So I'm listening to this for the first time with you from this point on, because I didn't hear that about Donna.
On. My husband was like, wait a second. He's like, I know that there's a park in Tennessee that has a carousel. And we pulled it up on Google Maps, and there very well is. And it has a steam engine.
Okay, let me just say, a lot of parks have a carousel. It may not be a full horse carousel, but a lot of places have a circle round thing that you can jump on. And I think most parks have one. Just saying.
In there that just sits there for looks, and you can go inside and within 30 minutes at their house. So I mean, but the boy also did say that they dumped her body in South Holston Lake. Now, mind you, South Holston Lake comes all the way from my house down to the Tri-Cities, so it is massive. It's where, who knows? I don't know. But
okay, so when is there a possibility that maybe sometime early in the morning, I mean, if I'm to believe the story, theoretically, I'm not saying I don't believe you at all. I'm not saying that.
And I'm sure you get a lot of this stuff.
I don't get a lot of it. I've had.
Can any of Donna's followers get me a clip of where she says this story? Because I would love to play it. I've listened to the woman like for 5 seconds once. Now, I'll tell you what part I do believe. I don't doubt she's in a water somewhere. I don't doubt that for 1 second. Unfortunately. But I hate to say it, but I really don't. I don't doubt that.
And this is like the 4th call that I've had during the whole case that has been like this. And the other 3 were complete crackpots. So,
Okay, because no offense, but Benny, only crackpots would call you. And this one's a crackpot too. Just saying.
But even then, each time that it comes,
I wonder who it is.
I mean, each time that it comes, I still have to treat it as if it's the real thing, I do the way that...
Is Benny a cop now? Is he a cop that he's got to treat it like it's a real thing? Has anybody watched Benny and the way he presents himself on a live? This is like sick. Is absolutely sick. The man is a liar, a fraud, a fake, a loser, an addict. He's a CPS caller. He's a real lifer. The list goes on. So for anyone to think this has any legitimacy, like he needs, oh, come on. This is crazy.
The way that you're relaying and dictating the story to me, I believe you. So there isn't a huge push to necessarily report it right this second. I will talk to. I have a partner in crime, and I'm going to get with her, and I'm going to let her make the decision. I'm going to tell her the information. She's tight as a snare drum, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Then I'm going to get with my attorney as well.
Okay, Benny, you don't have an attorney for this case. Let's be real here, okay? And if you do have an attorney for this case, why would you have an attorney for this case? So that doesn't make sense. Second of all, if this story is true, okay? If it's true, why would you sit on it and be tight-lipped about it? Do you not think police would want to know? He's serious, Neon. He's dead serious.
And what we need to do is they're going to want to... I'm going to need to... is there a way I can talk to that gentleman privately, secretly, away from his girlfriend or whatever? Like, this is...
I don't know. I mean, my husband would know more about him. It's just something kind of... He didn't want to talk to me, I'll tell you that.
Oh, he said that, he didn't want to.
Okay, he didn't want to talk to the wife. But 2 men at work, I don't even care what they do, but 2 men at work, they're going to discuss all this? No. I don't know what kind of men they are, but most men are not going to sit there and have this whole conversation, but can't talk to the wife. Yeah, Okay.
You know,
So what's the social worker's name? Do we know this?
I
I don't know. I don't know that. I mean,
Do
Liza can try to
you
get that information.
can you tell me his? Can you tell me his?
I got news for you. That was actually a very good question for Benny to ask. I'll give him props for that one, because you can verify who their social worker is. So he's trying to get their name. So that was a good call. Good job.
His name, and maybe I can track her through him.
Because this is important, I will give you his name. Because I just, it's not.
I'm not going to exploit it. It has nothing to do with him. It has nothing to do with the social worker. It has everything to do with getting enough information, because I don't have just a regular, I don't call 1-800-TBI fine. I've got a different route, but it's got to be like, I can't bring, I've got to just tighten it up just a little bit. And if I can just find her, to me, if I was able to find her through him and put, her on a social media somewhere with social worker title, I could do that very quickly, like in the next hour or so.
He is right, though.
If you could tell me,
I'll tell you this, and like I said, you've got to give me your word that his name's not going to come out.
you have
he could really get into a lot of trouble.
I put it on everything I love. Everything I love.
His family is very well known. As a matter of fact, I worked with his dad.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
He's a rich boy. I mean, I won't lie to you. His family is very well known.
He's just one of those guys. He's.
And I don't want no trouble. That's the thing. Like, you have to understand.
Neither do we.
Yeah, like I don't, like you have to understand. I got a beautiful little boy laying next to me, and just me getting information wrong. If I say, if I say the wrong thing about somebody, they jump in their vehicle and come see about me. Like, I'm an open book. I'm not hard to find. Like, everybody on the internet knows how to find me. So.
Right. And.
Oh, no, you're not that easy. It took us a while to try to find your damn number.
It was hard for me because,
there was a reason we looked for you, is because we see how invested you actually are in this. You're not just one of those, I'm trying to get the money bullshit.
You know what? I've already got money. The YouTube isn't,
He's already got money, but he lives with his mommy at 40-something years old. Okay, Benny. You keep telling yourself that.
I invest in cryptocurrency, and this is just because I want to help. Like, any money I make from YouTube, it goes into a business account, and I use that.
Who believes any of that? Give me a 1 if you believe any of that. Because I don't. I would like $1 from anybody that believes that. And I'll probably still sit here with nothing. Because, yeah. And not one person in here would believe that. Try again, Betty.
That money to help people. I don't pay no bills with it. None of that. It's just to.
I also see all the backlash that you're getting on YouTube, and it fucking kills me. I listen to these motherfuckers dog you, and I want to get on there, but
I appreciate your support, sir.
I'm a convicted felon, and all they're going to do is dog me out once they find out who I am. So I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah, it's not worth it. But so, could you tell me the gentleman's name, and I can get snapping on it right now? Does he have social media?
Oh, yes.
Yes, he does.
He's got Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. His name is Chase Galloway.
Chase Galloway. What city?
Yes. Bristol City.
Bristol, Tennessee.
Bristol, Tennessee.
Yeah,
Bristol,
there's
Tennessee.
The Virginia side and the Tennessee side.
How old is he?
23.
33?
23.
23.
Young kid.
23.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we know the kid is 23. He's rich, according to what they just said. So he's a rich kid who's 23 who decides to tell this old man, because you can tell the guy's older, tell this old redneck dude the whole life about his girlfriend, who I can't imagine would be more than 20-something, early 20s. So she's a clinical therapist. She is also a CPS worker, which then again, honestly, that could make sense. If she just got out of college, it would make sense if she's working for CPS as a licensed therapist. So that could be. Definitely could be.
Let me start digging right now. You going to be up for a minute?
Yeah, we'll be up for a while.
Okay, give me about an hour. I'm gonna put both feet on the shovel real quick, and I'm gonna get going, and I'll get right back to you. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Miss Carly.
You're welcome.
I'll call you soon. All right, bye bye.
Okay. So Benny recorded this phone call, but there was never a follow-up phone call. Can someone explain that? Why would you record the first half and not the second half? Yeah, but you can be if she just got her degree, YouTube dumpster fire. Because if he's 23, then she's probably young too. So it is very possible that she got out of college, got her degree, and is working for CPS until she goes out on her own. That makes perfect sense, honestly. That part I believe. But the rest of this, no, I don't believe any of it. I just don't. Now, the part of this, what I do believe, if any of it's true, like any of it, thank you, Peekaboo. I do believe that it's possible that a young CPS worker could work he's got a Patreon, that a young CPS worker a young graduate would work for CPS and work with younger kids. So that part I kind of believe. Can't receive money in his name because of Social Security. How did this channel get the call? That part I don't know. He recorded first one for information only, and seems to me like Benny covering something. I don't think Benny's covering anything. I think this whole story is nonsense. So Benny lost all credibility if he's saying he's making a dime off. I know, there's no money. Everyone in it's losing their shit. Or lost their shit. Alright. I couldn't open up
Fashion file.
hold on.
In this pedophile ring.
Okay.
Alright, you guys tell me who's who. Seraphina's the one on the right. I'm getting to it in a second. Is she the one on the right? Because I don't buy anything she says. Nothing at all.
Would you let everybody know, just basically, how was it the first time you connected with Summer Wells and her experience? Like, what stood out the most?
Okay, so according to her, Summer Wells is dead, and there's no questions asked. Okay. And I'm not saying she's not, because I do kind of believe she is, but okay.
See, a couple months ago, I was working on a project and I really didn't have any spare time, but I saw a little news clip come on my YouTube, which streams, the news stations, and it was about the little girl missing. And the first thing, I got what I call a psychic plop. It's like not me trying to think, it's like them just giving me something. And it was about that documentary that I shared it's called on YouTube here. It's called Just Melvin, Just Evil. And that's what this case was about. And that was, I hadn't seen that documentary in over 10 years, but I watched it again. And it was about this man who raped all these little girls, his own children. And then he married another woman who had a bunch of little girls, and he would rape them all. 14 girls were raped growing up by this man repeatedly. And he also sold them. He sold them in this pedophile ring. So as far as I know, none of them went missing, but he would sell them for sex. Very similar to what I feel Candace doing. So yeah. I feel that both Candace and Dawn are equally guilty. And I feel like the grandmother has knowledge. So anyways, yeah, it was back then and I was kind of busy and I did tap in a couple times. And I need to go back into my audios because another thing people don't know is when I go into trance, I go as far as you can go between sleep and wake. So one of the exercises, like if you want to develop psychically, is at that time when you start to fall asleep and you know you're going to fall asleep and it only lasts like a second or two, you try to hold that. Try to hold that as long as you can without waking up or going to sleep, because that's the zone of your mind where you can tune in with spirit. And so I'm sure I have several recordings from back then, because I would also meditate generally. And then sometimes they'll show me, say if they show me Summer coming in her yard, then they're going to start showing me some stuff about her. Or then all of a sudden we're over in Salida and they're showing me stuff about that case. So there's some meditations I have that have information from multiple cases, and I haven't went back through them yet.
Okay. And what's cool is you got that new, what's it called, Otter or something? The thing that does the transcribing for you.
Yeah. So I saw that on somebody else's live for the first time. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? How much time that would save with all my readings? We had to drop them in there and put them in a spot. And, you know, I hand transcribed all the readings I did on the Tylee Ryan case, and it's over 600 pages. So those are long readings. Yeah.
600 pages?
Yeah. Just of the readings transcribed. So some were like 90 minutes long and stuff like that. So.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Well, how about this? I would like to go.
You're the asshole that was with Tiffany, that went into Tiffany's last night. Get the fuck out of here. I don't cry about anybody. Get the fuck out of here.
Over the parts where you're seeing what seems to be a carousel, a steam engine, and let's relate back to what we think that means. You want to do that?
Yeah. And so tell people,
yes.
There's one thing, that's the psychic vision. And then the next thing is trying to find the clues, using those clues to find the location. So we figured out some stuff based on the psychic vision. Now, what it appears it could be wrong, but that doesn't mean the psychic vision is wrong, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at, I gave Lauren these couple readings to upload about trying to help in the Summer Wells case. And so then for all these people send me pictures and letters that are listened to the readings, right? So I formed a little group for them. And I'm in a group called Psychics and Sleuths.
Warn you, everybody, trigger warning. This is pretty raw, okay? It's very raw, but I'm going to go ahead and play it. That way we can connect these clues because I know they're going to be relevant. The same relevance as what the outbuilding was for JJ and Kylie. Same relevance. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Bear with me for a moment, please.
If she's such a good psychic, why does she have PayPal and Psychic Reverend Donna right at the bottom? If she's such a good psychic, why does she need PayPal? Just saying.
Let me get the right point here.
Like, we're going to lose all the kids. It's like both of them, but Summer brings up the idea. I mean, Candace, that's how it feels to me. It feels like I feel spirit energy, but I don't have it feels okay. That's Dawn's primary fantasy age. And for the next 5 years. So if he could get away with it, why would he get rid of his daughter when he just has his fantasy right there? At his discretion and disposal, right? He's got a wife that grew up being abused, a grandmother that probably grew up being abused as well. They're it feels like the Candace is the leader about getting rid of Summer. And one excuse she has is Dawn's fixation on her. Another excuse she has is the CPS investigation could reveal massive sexual abuse, not just by Dawn, but by Candace.
Wow.
And Candace selling her to people like Jose or whatever. Could this man have done this? See, the thing is, Summer was for sale, just like Dawn's Facebook profile. Who would put this obvious blaring, this is a pedophile for sale signal, this red barrel that says for sale, and then she has Summer dancing in the rain? What the hell do we think it means? Yeah, I got chills again. Mama sold her daughter to pedophiles.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I can tell you guys right now, I cannot listen to this. This is the biggest bunch of crap I ever heard in my life. Like, I don't know how much more I could actually even listen to it.
I'm also getting a J. Jason. And that could be a total random person. It could be the name of a street. It could be anything. And it also could be that I'm getting the whole. First, I'm getting J, and then Jason, and then but the J is big, so it might just be they're trying to get me to say J. That's how mediumship is. Like, it's very fluid and it's very interpretive of what they show you, and they're not. Well, sometimes you get a thought transfer, sometimes you hear a sound, but it's mostly visual. Not an actual steamboat, it's just like a name wisping by or something wisping by. So it could be on a sign, it could be a picture, it could be anything. And it could be like you're driving up the street and you see a sign that has a steamboat.
I'd like to clarify that if that's okay.
Yeah.
In Gatlinburg, okay, so I don't know for sure this is Gatlinburg. All I know is the things that I was shown is like the gum chain.
Looking beyond, I agree with you that there's nothing wrong with having a PayPal. But if you're this big top psychic, you don't need to flash a PayPal. You just don't. I'm sorry, but it's tacky. If you're this big psychic.
Gum wrapping chain. The crew found it. It is in the Ripley's Museum in Gatlinburg, the world's longest gum chain. The House of Mirrors is at the Ripley's Museum, or it's owned by Ripley's, and there it's in Gatlinburg. The aquarium where you walk through and you see the sharks and stuff is in Gatlinburg. Of course, carousels in Gatlinburg, they're everywhere. But what they were doing there, and then there's even the Twin kept coming in. A mile out of Gatlinburg, you go through a tunnel, and there's Twin Creeks Path, which personally, if I was in Tennessee, I'd at least walk around there and see what I felt. So during that time, the things, and then where everything's upside down, somebody found in that Enchanted Life path, he found that there's a place called Wonderworks it's 10 miles from Gatlinburg, and everything is that all these buildings are upside down. And
I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it right now. This is crazy. Hopefully it shows everything. Can everybody see this okay? I hope.
So that's the world's largest.
Yeah, that's in Pigeon Forge. What the fuck does this have to do with Summer Wells? That's like a vacation place, like a touristy spot. What does this have to do with Summer Wells? Looking beyond, she is so full of shit. There was evidence. She didn't predict anything in Lori Vallow's case. She just had the information prior to other people finding out. Trust me, she's not, believe me, you want to believe her, you go right ahead. She's full of shit.
Gum chain. I don't think that's the right gingerbread house. Oh, but there was the candy store they found. So that's the world's largest gum chain. It's a world record gum chain. So that was like a mind-blowing clue for me. Because I'm like, I haven't thought of those in 40 years. I don't think that's the gingerbread house. I think the candy house, candy store in Gatlinburg with the two poles that are wrapped in the candy cane. I think that's what I saw. Because when I saw that, my mouth actually dropped open. Because I couldn't see it any clearer. And then, so the aquarium, this is the Twin Creeks Path that's just outside of Gatlinburg. So what was going on there in that trip to Gatlinburg is there was a middleman or, a buyer, right? A prospective buyer. And I do believe he's the one that looks similar to Darren from the Black and White Bewitched, because that's what they'll show me. They don't want to show me the real person. I think they don't want me to get myself killed, by pointing out all these people. But so they always show me this person, Darren from the Black and White Bewitched, but he was there that day. So what he was doing was he wanted to take a bunch of photos of, with Summer and where she looks like some all-American kid running around. And I had the feeling that's for to show other pedophiles, right? For his pedophile ring and to see if he wanted to purchase her. So the trade-off wasn't.
Okay, so let's go through this, all right? So she knows that they went on vacation in Gatlinburg. Anybody that's gone to Gatlinburg knows Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge are right next to each other. They're coinciding with each other. I've been to both places. I can tell you everything there is to know about it. Gatlinburg is basically one road. And in order to get from Gatlinburg to Pigeon Forge, you have to go through this really weird tunnel. It's almost like a bridge, but it's like a tunnel. That's what she's talking about. There's no secret surprise behind this. It's the only way to get from Gatlinburg to the Wonderworks she's talking about. You have to go through like a bridge. I'm telling you, I'm gonna dispute anything she says.
That happening there. Like a couple people thought, where did he take her to a carousel to trade off? No, because the other things I was seeing, where I kept feeling like, and I hadn't even looked at a map of Tennessee. I'm all the way in California, and it's like Tennessee Hills, and I was saying winery or brewery. Well, there's a Tennessee Hills distillery in Jonesboro, and it felt like originally Summer was taken to that general area, not to the distillery, but to that area. And then remember seeing a gazebo directly behind Tennessee Hills Distillery is Gazebo Park. So you could type in Gmaps, Gazebo Park, Jonesboro, Tennessee, and you will literally come up with that. And the steam train goes in between the Tennessee Hills Distillery and this Gazebo Park and goes alongside it. So, and that Enchanted Life Path person, a YouTube channel, he found that he sent me something and said that Don Wells was working only 6 minutes away from there.
Oh my gosh.
So if the person says that he left for 35 minutes, they weren't sure where he went, he may have went and met Candace to do the trade-off right at that park there or somewhere in that general area. So those are, I even have chills on my legs right now. So if anything got to the police, it would be to look through. I'm sure if the family did go to Gatlinburg the week before and they have all the cell pings, then in that surveillance tape, they would want to look for a person that has looks similar to that black and white Darren from Bewitched. That is the person who purchased the child. And it seems to have happened in this area, and it may have happened in this area just because Dawn was working there, so that was what he arranged. Or, they could have brought her up in the hills there. They could have brought her a whole different place. I don't know where they brought her afterwards.
Yeah, let me tell you what exists in Gatlinburg. Food restaurants, alcohol restaurants, touristy stuff, and overpriced knickknacks. That's the entire road of Gatlinburg. That's it. There are distilleries all over the place. There are wine places all over the place. Gatlinburg is the most boring, overpriced place I've ever been to. And we were staying in Pigeon Forge, which wasn't bad, but it's also way overpriced. But everything she's saying is common sense for anyone that's ever been to both places.
I just saw what I saw. And, you know, again, hopefully it's wrong. Like you have said, and I asked you to tell people, the world's strongest psychic mediums are still wrong 1 out of 5 times. So, you know, I only hope I'm wrong. I hope Summer comes home alive. You know, I hope nothing bad happened to her. But what I saw was a snuff film. I'm just going to be blunt. Okay. Yeah. It was bad. What I saw was bad, really bad. And either way, there's some people who need to go to prison. Really.
Absolutely.
And I really hope that if everything I saw was correct, I hope that these parents end up with guilt for the rest of their life when they found out what became of their daughter that they got rid of for cash. Right. I hope they're dealt with in prison. I hope they go to prison, and I hope they remember every day of their lives what they did.
Me too, Donna. Now, I remember, excuse me, in your first reading of Summer Wells, the 12-minute-ish one that you sent me that I put out,
yeah,
you say a dollar figure of $50,000. Do you think was that directly from Spirit, like the price amount? Like, do you think that's actually what it was?
I was just getting running information at that time, kind of like running into my head, and the feeling that I got. So, you know, could be wrong and stuff, but the feeling that I got was that the person who purchased her, that's for pedophile reasons.
Now, let me throw a wrench in this too, okay? Me and Sage alone, just me and Sage, I think I spent over $1,000 just for me and Sage for like 3 days. So if you have a family of 5 and you're going to a bunch of different things, they probably spent about $3,000 to $4,000. I don't know. If they went for a week, they spent more than that. So I'm going to say they probably spent about $5,000. The story that it's not a cheap vacation at all whatsoever. It's extremely expensive. Anything you do is extremely expensive. So the Skylift, for example, I think was $40 a person. I mean, crazy. Titanic Museum, another $40 a person. Times that by 5. It's super, super expensive. There's no way in hell that... What was that? There's no way in hell that they did a vacation, but yet they sold their daughter for $5,000. I mean, $50,000. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, that included a cheap place to stay. But again, it was just me and Sage.
To be sold into trafficking and that kind. They would have kept her around for longer, you know, years probably, except for it became high profile. So that's where it said they made a decision and they had to do a standard dozier, D-O-Z-I-E-R. Right. I didn't even know what that meant. Like, I looked it up. Every meaning we can find for it is not good.
Yeah.
And the person...
I bought season tickets to Dollywood. We have yet to use them.
If the police saw that resembled Darren Stevens, that guy, the black and white, when Bewitched was black and white, that guy was present when she was murdered. I mean, I saw her murdered. Hopefully it's all wrong. Hopefully, you know, it's some crazy things that went in my head, but I hope, you know, I always hope I'm wrong.
That's how I know, me too.
He was present. And the person who did it, you know, I saw some jerk in the comments. I shouldn't even respond like that, but it said something about Donna sees them making a movie, blah, blah, blah. No, I saw them make a snuff film. Okay. Let me be very clear. This was not pleasant. This was not good. The person was wearing some sort of costume and mask. And I saw the child beat up severely and I saw her stabbed to death. It's not funny. It's not a joke. No. If the mods are on here, if anybody makes a joke out of it, just delete them. I just have no patience at all. You know, obviously I prayed last night that I was wrong. So
I pray you're wrong too, Donna. I think I said that in one of the intros or something. I think it was in the first intro. I think I said, or no, it was the last part. I said, here's to medium.
So in all her psychic ability, she was able to guess right one time. One time she's able to guess right. Just one time. Out of all the cases she's been about. Come on now. Like, seriously, come on. Oh, my kids didn't like Splash Country. This is such bullshit. And I believe in psychics. I do. But this is nonsense. Because who's this mysterious guy? Who's the mysterious guy? The cops don't have him yet. And I'm sorry. I don't believe it.
Shit being wrong, because I want it to be wrong. I want Summer to be alive.
Yeah.
You know, I really do. But
And
I also don't.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead, Donna, please. You're a
Well,
guest.
I wanted Tylee to be alive. I wanted to be wrong so bad. You know, I had planned, okay, I'm going to have a party if I'm wrong. I'm going to get champagne and cheese, and I'm going to have a party that I was wrong. But like with Tylee, by like the third reading, it gets more graphic each time. So like even the second reading I did for you, you know, Lauren asked me to do this, and
Cookie Brown. She was eerily correct about JJ and Tylee. Like I said, you throw enough shit against the wall, you're going to be right about one of them. What about all her other cases? She wasn't right about any of them. So she got one case right.
I'm doing this to help and for no other reason, and I'm doing it for Summer. And but so I can't even remember what I was going to say, but I just, you know what, the second reading I prayed, please show me an alternate. Please show me an alternate besides this, you know. And then when I said, I mean, please, is she alive? Show me if she's alive. And they showed me her murdered again.
So that's really, to me, a confirmation, Donna. You too, obviously.
Oh, shit. How much did you guys hear? Did you hear what I just said or no? Exactly, Ross. I predicted Brian Laundrie was dead in a swamp in Florida, torn up by animals. I'm psychic now, too. Alright, so you guys didn't hear what I said. What I think is bullshit, what I truly think is bullshit, is... Now I forgot. I don't know, she said something that was just total bullshit. Why would she need the other ghost to tell her about Summer Wells? Why couldn't Summer Wells just tell her, show her own murder? Like, why would she need, what other ghost would show her a murder? It doesn't make sense. And I'm totally all about, I'm all about psychics. I really am. But that's not how the spiritual world works. The spiritual world, they don't have other ghosts telling you what some random person's murder. That's not the way it works. If Summer was telling her that she was murdered, it would be Summer telling her, not some random ghost who aren't even involved in the situation, showing her Summer's murder. The second realm just doesn't work like that. So, yeah. Sorry, not buying it. Totally full of shit. The only thing I felt that she said that was real... Yeah, but my microphone's all the way up there. Like, I can't even see it. The only thing she said that I agree with is that REM part of sleep. I understand that very, very well. And she's dead on about that. But other than that... Nope. Sorry. Not buying it. I heard through the ghost grapevine. She'd been working with the FBI, not a dude that calls himself Blood Money. Amen. Jose and Summer are already telling psychos they're dead and murdered. Looking beyond, there is no such thing as a licensed psychic. There is no licensing for a psychic. So if anyone told you that, you're lying. There is no licensing for psychics. So please get your... Before you say something, you might want to look it up. There's absolutely no licensing for psychics. Facts. That's true. Whoopi Goldberg did help Patrick Swayze in Ghost. You're right. The psychic world works the same for everybody. The psychic world doesn't pick and choose what happens. The psychic world is the same for everybody. When you die, if you believe you become a ghost, then you become a ghost. But this saying the psychic world doesn't work the same for everybody is like saying, you know, religion, you don't have to be Catholic to know, you don't have to be a Catholic priest to know not to sleep with little boys. I mean, come on. Don't even get me started on a religion topic. But yes, the psychic world works the same for everybody. That's true. Might as well sell your license for $100. Good point. Good one, Ross. Some people say in Jesus' name and the evil spirits leave. Say Mother Mary backwards 5 times. No, I just happen to know a lot about it looking beyond. I like a lot about it. In a lot of different ways. Absolutely, Snooks. I plan on being I hope to be a ghost when I die. But I'm telling you, I'm starting to doubt. I'm starting to doubt it because I'm very surprised that more people have not come to me. I would love to be a ghost. I'd haunt people. Wonder Twin, it's true. The psychic world, the afterlife is the same for everybody. You either go to heaven, you go to hell. I mean, I'm just saying like possibilities. Not what I believe, just possibilities. You either go to heaven, you go to hell, you become a ghost, you don't become a ghost, you become a demon, you get reincarnated. One of those possibilities. I think I covered everything. Or you just go on the ground and get eaten by bugs. There you go. I've said Candyman 13 times and I've yet to see him, and that was 10 years ago. I definitely don't want to be a vampire or a zombie. No thanks. Can ghost watch you when you're allegedly. But I don't know. I don't know. Like, why does some become a ghost and some don't? How come there's not ghosts everywhere? I don't know. I don't believe I've never seen a deceased person, loved one, or a friend. I have, though. Once. Can come back as a worm? Is it an option? Maybe. Psychic studies. Well, you could have majored in psychic studies. Reincarnation is another belief. Everyone believes different things. And I don't blame anyone for their beliefs. Everyone has different beliefs. And nobody's beliefs are right or wrong. But they're all still, you have to put it in a realistic, like, world. And a realistic world is we live a life and then there's an afterlife. That's it. Plain and simple. You can learn too much. Let go of controlling everyone's speech. I don't control everyone's speech, but have a good day. I know, right, Snooks? See my past dad, and I have haunted house, and I have ghosts that follow me. So yeah, I believe big time. Psychic abilities can change. It could be different. Oh, absolutely. But everybody has psychic abilities. Everybody. Well, except maybe some dumb people. But everyone has the power to feel something, intuition, a lot of things. Well, they got booted. As long as someone is an asshole and don't care what they believe. I agree, Coffee. A woman dug up her father's grave in a cemetery. And I don't know if I believe that either. You believe in aliens? I think there are aliens, but I don't think they're what people think they are, if you know what I mean. I don't think they're like doing studies on people like that. I don't believe. Oh, I think there's definitely aliens. I think there's definitely life on other planets. We just don't know about it. And I think the government knows that there's life on other planets. I believe my female carrying. I believe Brad's a fly. There's this fly that follows me everywhere that I can't seem to kill. No matter what I do to it, it survives. I'm pretty sure it's Brad. That's his way of bugging me. It came back as a fly. Definitely aliens. My partner is one. There you go. I am. I'm convinced that this fly is Brad. They already know they're smarter than us. Aliens ain't studying us. I don't know. I do wonder. Don't swat it. I'm trying to kill it. It always gets away. That's why I think it's him. I tell Dayton that all the time. I said, this fly has to be your dad. It has to be. It just won't die. And it won't go away and it won't leave me alone. I'm like, only your dad would do something like that. It just bugged me. She was looking for a will. I went to school with her, and it's in my hometown. It was in the paper and the news. You? You what? Sugar? Oh, I think so too. Black magic is different than this. Black magic has nothing to do with this conversation, though. You seem to be doing better with Brad. I was worried. Yeah, I'm okay. I do know a lot about Egyptian. Phoenix was named after the Egyptian, from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I'm telling you guys, I've studied all this stuff. I've studied every religion there is. I was like so into it for a long time. I was, wanted answers. I didn't understand why all these religions were about. I wanted answers. From the Satanic Bible to the Old Testament. He said he looked the same, no bugs. He couldn't have, though. The only way you can look this, your body disintegrates. I mean, facts. Your skin, the heat, the sun, everything. It all eliminates it disintegrates. Except for your teeth. Your bones don't. But your body does. Your skin does. Your blood. The blood's out. But you just disintegrate. So unless he had stuff in him, I'm just not buying it. Why would she even take a father out of the ground? Like, what was the reasoning? Body dehydrates. Thank you. What, that he was stuffed? Not stuffed. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't believe it. I really don't. Not saying you're lying. I'm just not buying it. Scientifically, it can't happen. Just scientifically, it can't happen. So, unless he was preserved, that's the word I'm looking for, preserved, there's no way that he would stay intact. It's just scientifically impossible. They got him up looking for a will? What? Wanted the ring off his finger like on Yellowstone. That's possible. You never know. But you know what I'm saying? No, scientifically, it can't happen. You go on a plum and turn into a raisin within a few weeks. Embalmed, thank you. No, but you always get embalmed. Well, unless you're being cremated. But you always get embalmed. Embalming, your skin still goes. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. She was looking for his will in his coffin? What's her name, Quinny? Not always? Alright, I'm going to look at this up. Hold on. Alright, by 50 years in, your tissues will have liquefied and disappeared, leaving behind mummified skin and tendons. Eventually, those two will disintegrate, and after 80 years in the coffin, your bones will crack as the soft collagen inside deteriorates, leaving nothing but the brittle mineral frame behind. Decomposition begins several minutes after death. Far from being dead, a rotting human corpse is the cornerstone of a complex ecosystem. A better understanding of this ecosystem could have direct applications in forensic science. Far from being dead, a rotting corpse is teeming with life. Decomposition starts several minutes after death. Soon after the heart stops beating, cells become deprived of oxygen. Their acidity increases as toxic byproducts of chemical reactions begin to accumulate inside them. Enzymes start to digest cell membranes and then leak out of the cell's breakdown. Begins in the liver, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's impossible. This is way too long. Ever been in a mausoleum? No, I've never been in a mausoleum. Talking about bugs. Bodies are, after all, merely forms of energy trapped in lumps of matter waiting to be released into the wider universe. Well, that's a good way to look at death. I like that. That's my quote. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's pretty cool. I like that quote. According to the laws of thermodynamics, energy cannot be created or destroyed, only converted from one form to another, and the amount of free energy always increases. In other words, things fall apart, converting their mass to energy while doing so. Decomposition is one final morbid reminder that all matter in the universe must follow these fundamental laws. It breaks us down, equilibrating our body matter with its surroundings and recycling it so that other living things can put it to use. That's a good way to look at life. Interesting. I like that. Okay, embalmed bodies eventually decompose too, but exactly when and how long it takes depends largely on how the embalming was done, type of casket in which the body is placed, and how it is buried. Bodies are, after all, mere forms of energy, blah, blah, blah. So that's what it is. It has to do with that. I don't know if I want to be cremated. Because once you go with fire, you got nothing left. Formaldehyde. They drain the blood and basically preserve your ass. Yeah. Fiberglass skin tissue to stop bacteria from rotting the flesh. And then if you get cremated, they freeze your ass. We need to research this at 3 a.m. Yes. I'm curious. I'm nosy. But I like this art. I like the way they look at death. I think it's a good way to look at death. All we are is just dust in the wind. Purging fluid that comes out of decomposing bodies. If farmers can spot organically rich field, then maybe our little drone. It's interesting. I had a cremate my dad. Broke my heart, but I couldn't afford to. Well, that's what we did with Brad. My dad had a full funeral, but Brad was cremated. But I mean, the positive thing about getting cremated is Dayton wears them around his neck. So that's a positive thing. Oh. You're my boy Blue? All we are is just dust in the wind. Alright, I guess it's 2 a.m. Was anyone in Tiffany's stream last night? She did a stream at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I finally went to bed at 6. I was like, I need sleep. Ha. Your dead lord of the soul leaves before cremation. I know, but still. I don't know. I just think it's creepy. I don't want to burn in fire. I feel like you go to hell. You just burn in fire. I don't know. It's still creepy. But I guess I'm going to get off. It jumps out before the flame. I got a tattoo with some of my dad. Oh, did you really? Well, that's cool. Yeah, Dayton wears it around his neck. The necklace broke, though. I gotta get my new necklace. I was like, well, you didn't lose the ashes. That's a positive thing. We still don't have a death certificate. Can you believe that? It's been, what, 10 weeks? Still no death certificate. Spread my remains all over Disney, but don't cremate me. Ew. Yo, did you hear about Disney, Kimberly? Sheriff Brady reported that some driver for Disney was part of a pedophile ring. I was like, man, there's some sick people in this world. Sick people. Alright, I'm out. There were like 13 people involved in this sex ring. I forgot to lower this. There were like 13 people involved in this sex ring. There you go. Yeah, it's crazy. Is the investigation to let? We don't know. We don't know anything. Just know there's no death certificate yet. Nobody can collect anything without a death certificate. Oh. Ah. You're welcome, Angela. Hold on, I'll show you. Joseph, it's in Patreon, right? Almost positive it is. Yeah, because I think Huck posted it. Where is it? Do you remove it? I know I saw it. Hold on. I know where it is. Alright, I'll go this way. No, wasn't the one. Wasn't 3 months ago, was it? Hang on. No. Yeah, it was from the other day. From today.
Thank you very much for being with me today. I have with me Chief Andy Ray from the Auburndale Police Department and Derek Blanton from the Winter Haven Police Department. You know, we did this recent Operation Child Protector 2, and as I always say when we do these operations, the strength of our investigations simply is our partnership with the police departments. We all work together to keep this community safe. We understand that criminals don't come and go according to city limits and county limits, and neither does support services from the Sheriff's Office and the police departments. We are all one, and this is just another example. So we did a 2-week operation, just the recent of what we've done over and over and over, to focus on those that are online seeking your children. If it weren't for the heroic work of the undercover detectives from the Sheriff's Office, the Winter Haven Police Department, the Auburndale Police Department, your children could have been the victims. But they weren't, because we stood in the gap between good and evil. We made 12 arrests. They were not only from Central Florida, but you'll hear me talk about one that occurred an arrest that occurred out of Alabama and one out of Michigan. That's right, they were grooming and doing real nasty things online all across this neighborhood, this community, this county, this state, and as far away on this operation as Michigan and Alabama. We say that we'll chase those child predators to the ends of the earth that want to harm our children. We've done that. You've heard me talk about us arresting a person in Australia and bringing them back here for trial. Well, we only had 2 from out of state this time. But here's what is important to understand, and I want the parents to understand this. These aren't traditional criminals. 9 of the 12 of these folks don't have a criminal history. Did you hear what I said? 9 of the 12 don't have a criminal history. But what they are doing, these evil people, are lurking online and grooming children online to engage them in sexual conduct. 4 of the arrests traveled. The others, as you'll hear in a minute, provided very raucous communication, sent pictures, inappropriate pictures, nude pictures, action photos of sexual conduct to what they thought was 13, 14, 15-year-old little girls or little boys. So let me introduce you to some of them. This is Lawrence New. He lives on the Lakeland Highlands Road in Lakeland. He thought that he was traveling to have sex with a 13-year-old child. That's right. He came from South Lakeland to our undercover location at the far northeast end of the county, thinking that he was going to have sex. He said he cherished the idea about teaching this 13-year-old girl about sex. He sent nudes and action film of him doing inappropriate things. His wife of 7 years was in another room sleeping whenever he did this. Oh, I'm sorry, she was in another room when he did this, and he had to wait for her to go to sleep so he could sneak out of the house to engage what he thought was a 13-year-old child. So let me focus on this a minute. He's in one room, his wife's in another room, he's sending all kinds of ugly things to what he thinks is a 13-year-old child. Then he leaves after she falls asleep and travels all the way across the county. He confessed. We've got him locked up in jail. He's the owner of Omnia Inc., which deals in disposing medical supplies, used medical supplies. Oh, did I tell you Citrus County Sheriff's Office also has a criminal charge waiting against him as well? But we've got him locked up here now. So this is not new for him. He's 67 years old, and he's a deviant. He's a child pedophile. He's a pervert. And now he's a jailbird. Then there's Christopher Valise. He's 33. He's from Tampa. He sent explicit photos thinking he was sending them to a 14-year-old child. And he told her, I don't want to get in trouble, so let's keep this between us. Where does he work? He doesn't work. You see, he's at home on disability and SSI. That's right. So when all of us are going to work, earning money, paying our taxes, he's getting our taxpayers' money to sit at home and groom little children online. He didn't travel, but he instructed what he thought was the little 14-year-old girl to destroy the messages and the pictures because I don't want to get in trouble. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, what would an operation be? Either a pornography investigation or a predator operation or a human trafficking operation without a Disney employee. We always have a Disney employee, sometimes more. This is Zachary Hudson. That's right, he's a bus driver for Disney. He did not travel, but he sent nude and lewd pictures of himself. He thought it was to a 15-year-old girl. And he said to her while grooming her, what we said could get us all in trouble. And he said how he would like to wrap his arms around and feel her small, tiny body. Then he said, are you ready for this? You can't make this stuff up. I don't want to sound creepy. Well, you just sounded creepy. So he reiterated to what he thought was this little girl that she needed to keep it quiet. It has to be our secret. Because he said, I could go to jail. He said, but I'd risk it for spending some time with you. I'd risk going to jail. Well, when we arrested him, he confessed. Oh, newsflash, this will make Disney extra happy. He was doing this while he was on the clock for Disney. So if your bus was running late at Disney, he was busy taking pictures of himself and talking trash to what he thought was a little girl.
Was that his Disney uniform?
Yes.
How sick is that? These guys are with kids all day, every day. Every day they're around children. He is a bus driver for Disney. Holy shit. But there's one guy that will make your skin crawl.
Then there's Timothy King. He's 26, from Clearmont. He rode a bike. That's right, he traveled. He rode a bike. This dude was on a mission. So you might ask the sheriff, how far did he ride a bike to have what he thought was sex with a 15-year-old child? 10 miles. Did you hear me? 10 miles. And he said, sometimes I get excited. He didn't use those terms, but I thought I would. He used much more graphic terms. He confessed. He said, I don't have any friends. And he was very cautious when he arrived at the house. He wanted to know about cameras. Are there any cameras? Yep, there's cameras. We got your picture. In fact, we got lots of pictures. We got pictures with your clothes on. Anyway. Then there's Zachary Clark from Tampa. He works armed security for Brink's National Guard. That's right, that was his job. So the next time you see a Brinks truck and they jump out armed to pick up the loot from the store, who knows what he's doing behind closed doors. He traveled. He thought he was going to have sex with a 15-year-old child. Boy, was he surprised when the door opened and there was sheriff's detectives and police officers to arrest him. He said he was kind of antisocial.
Every cop should become Grady. No joke. He is like the best fucking dude ever. He's the best storyteller ever.
And he just did this to meet new people. He said, but don't worry, I didn't mean it. I was going to tell her mom. Well, that's as good an excuse as any when you're in a lot of trouble. This guy's 62. His name's Frank Butler. He's from Palm Beach Gardens. He's an administrator for BSG Hospitality. But he was in the Orlando area at a resort. So, hey, he thought he would.
Let me just tell you, wait until you fucking hear this guy's story. It will make you cringe. Trigger warning, anyone with children, trigger warning. This is by far, thank you, No. This is by far the worst fucking one of all of them, in my opinion. And you guys will hear why. Super chats, definitely appreciated. Thank you.
To confront a 13-year-old female. So he started the communication and he traveled. That's right. He traveled from the resort to meet what he thought was a 13-year-old female. You know what's interesting about that? His wife of 27 years was at the resort, and he had to wait for her to go to sleep. So his wife of 27 years, who thinks they're at the resort to have a great weekend, she falls asleep, he sneaks out and goes to the undercover operation to have sex with a 13-year-old child, he thinks. But then he told the detective, once again, you can't make this up, he's not a bad guy. He said, I'm just not a bad guy. He said, you know what I was going to do is wait at the house with this child to tell her mom, as soon as she come home, what this child was doing. Yep. And then when we explained to him about the undercover detective and not the 13-year-old child, he said, well, what did I do wrong? It's just words. Well, newsflash, words matter. Words got you locked up. You were grooming a child. You agreed to meet a 13-year-old child because you, in fact, were going to have sex with that child. Why your wife of 27 years slept blissfully in the resort down the street. He says he doesn't prey on children. So anyway, we asked him what his wife would think about all of this. He said, you know, my wife wouldn't subscribe to this. That's why I had to wait until she went to sleep.
Thank you, Snooks.
This is a stereotype of a predator and a pedophile.
Actually, that's not the one I'm thinking of. Thank you, Snooks. That's not the one I'm thinking of. I'll let you guys know. I thought it was him, but I'll let you guys know which one I'm talking about. It is bad.
Then there's Michael Ochino from Kissimmee. He's a forklift driver for PepsiCo. He had conversations with 3 different undercover detectives from the police department and the sheriff's office. That's right. He thought he was talking to 13 and 14-year-old children during his conversation. He said that he would like to stay with them. He talked about making babies with the children. He didn't travel. But then he said something that was really, really, really scary. You see, our undercover detectives said that they were down here with their mom on vacation.
This is the guy. This is the one. Oh my God. Just wait. You guys, just trigger warning. Listen to what he tells cops.
And talked about, during the conversation, the relationship. He said, look, you can stay with me, and here's how you do it. You walk away without your mom seeing you. She won't know where you are. You're from another part of the country. And then you wait for me, and I'll pick you up. Is that scary or what? He was giving what he thought to be a 13-year-old little girl directions on how to escape from her mom, and he was going to pick her up. Then what? What's next? He's 57 years of age.
Can you fucking imagine that? Grooming your child to say, come, don't show your mom that you left, and come meet me and just wait for me. That is insane. Insane. Thank God I don't have little kids anymore like that. That is scary as fuck. I heard that. I stopped dead in my track and rewound that. Like, did I hear that right? Yeah. He told this little girl, just wait for me to come pick you up. Yeah, like that little girl would ever make it back home. Thank God it was the cops.
Here's a guy that didn't travel, but he communicated from St. Clair, Michigan. He's unemployed. He thought he was talking to a 14-year-old child. He would say things like he thought she was sexy. He instructed this child how to delete their text. And he told her, I can't resist how young you are. He's in the St. Clair County Jail on our warrant, where we were assisted by the police authorities there arresting him. Well, Roger, buddy, welcome to Florida, because this is where you're coming. It's not going to be a vacation, unless, of course, you consider the state prison an extended stay resort. And then there's George Matthews. Here's what's interesting about old George. He's 66 years of age. He's from Ozark, Alabama. Are you ready for this? His job? He works at Fort Rucker. He's a Black Hawk mechanic. He works for M1 Support Services, which is a civilian company contracted to work on the Black Hawks. He sent very explicit images of himself to what he thought was a 13-year-old child. He did not travel, but he said he would like to. He made statements to the 13-year-old that he was old enough to be her grandfather. And then he engaged in some very nasty chat. Well, when he came to work the next day and he crossed onto the base, the military police arrested him. By the way, that base, if you're not familiar with Fort Rucker, is the Army Aviation War Fighting Center. He had chats with this 13-year-old not only while he was at home, but also while he was at work. I hope he didn't get so carried away with his chats that he forgot to put all the parts back on the Black Hawk helicopters. That could be a real problem. He's in the Dell County Jail, and he's not going to be flying here on a helicopter. I'll guarantee that. All right, I would like to turn this.
But what's scary about that, Joseph, this is, well, Alabama does have chemical castration. But what's fucked up about this, he needed clearance to get that job. He's 66, so he's obviously been there pretty much his whole life. And you're a fucking child predator. Thank God he didn't work with children, but it's not easy getting a military job. Like, it's tough. And I'm just blown away. Just absolutely blown away.
This over to a dear friend of mine and colleague. We worked together at the sheriff's office for 25 years until retirement age came, and then he went to be the police chief in Auburndale, and made me very proud to see one of my captains and one of the most talented people we've ever had work with us go on to be the police chief. Chief?
Thanks, sir. So 25 years here and 10 years at Auburndale, 35 years in this business, and these things still bother me, and they make my stomach turn. And if you're a parent and you have kids, or you're a grandparent and you have kids that are dear to you, do what you can to protect them, because the internet is a dangerous place. Make sure that you're monitoring them. Make sure that you're having conversations with them. There are a lot of nefarious actors out there, and we just want parents and grandparents, people who are responsible for kids, to be aware of that, and to talk to their kids about it. It's an important conversation to have. So thankful to the sheriff and his people for putting this operation together, and always thankful for the opportunity to be a team player and a partner to keep this county safe. So thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you, Chief. Next we have Derek. Derek Blanton is with the Winter Haven Police Department. In fact, his father and I patrolled as deputies way, way, way back in the day, and so it makes me exceptionally proud to see Derek follow in the footsteps of his dad. Derek?
Good afternoon. The members of the Winter Haven Police Department are more than happy to have participated in this operation. We'll be more than happy to participate in future operations that may come about. We're dedicated to doing our best to protect our kids in these situations, and I think it serves as a good reminder for both parents and bad guys that, you know, we have really good detectives. So does the sheriff's office and Auburndale Police Department that are really good at their jobs, and they won't hesitate to put you in jail if you're involved in this type of situation. Thank you to the Sheriff's Office and Auburndale Police Department for also participating in this and having us participate as well. Thank you.
Our folks collectively are simply the very best in the business at investigating and searching out and looking.
Hey, Joseph, you might know this. Would he lose his pension for something like that? Like, I know it has to be proven, but if he's found guilty, would he lose his pension and everything he worked for? Yeah, it makes your thingies not work. Hey, D-Lan. Fucking wild, though. Why? Just why? Yeah, he said most of them didn't even have a record. It's scary shit. I mean, to me, they all look creepy. But I see guys like, you know, old men staring at stage, and I'll be like, ew, don't look at her. Or she'll be like, Mom, this creepy guy's looking at me. I was like, well, tell him not to look at you. Sounds like a contractor. He may not have one. Oh, okay. Court martial. It's just crazy. It's disgusting. Yuck. They are everywhere. I agree with that. Just looking at the comments, I'm afraid to rewind to the beginning. My son, I had cremated because I couldn't leave him alone. I've been worried if I made the wrong decision, I'm worried for his soul. Nah. I didn't know you lost a son. I'm sorry. I don't think they should be allowed to live either. I really don't. Kids are so innocent. Oh, that makes sense on your name. JT's mom forever. I gotcha. Funerals are expensive. Funerals are like $20,000. Oh, I'm sorry, JT. I'm sorry, JT's mom. Works have been doing this quite... Yeah, they do it in Alabama. I did a live on it when the law first passed. Quite on predator pedophiles because they have an urge. A lot of pedophiles participate willingly because they could not control themselves. Soul's gone to heaven long for a burial cremation. Yeah, I agree. You made the right choice. Like I said, I feel like Brad was the right choice to cremate. I mean, it wasn't my choice, but, you know, Dayton has a piece of him. Dayton has his ashes with him at all times. Parents are... Oh, I agree, Toy. I agree. He's up in heaven. Does it just... But no, it's not castration like it burns off. You just lose your sex drive. But it doesn't like physically burn off. You just lose total sex drive. But I don't think it's permanent. I think it's temporary. I'm pretty sure chemical castration is temporary. And not a permanent thing. But I could be wrong. But I don't think I'm wrong. But I'm going to get off here. It's 2:30 in the morning. And I still got to finish a couple things on the website before bed. I'm all for neutering them. I agree. Cut it off. Pull a Lorena Bobbitt. And just cut it all off. Alright. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for Super Chat, PayPals, Cash Apps, everything in between. Yeah, I agree with that too, Chris. There's no right or wrong. It's all what you can afford and what you believe. Plain and simple. It's not temporary. It's a couple times the day they inject it. Oh, I thought it was temporary. I really thought it was temporary. I didn't know it was permanent. So, alright guys, I will see you guys tomorrow. And let me know if you guys hear anything more about the Benny thing, because I'm just not buying it. And hey, Rad. And that's it. I'll keep you guys up to date on anything I hear. So have a wonderful night. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up on the way out. Simply because that's the only way to get in the algorithm. Is thumbs up. Or thumbs down. It really doesn't matter. Hit thumbs down. I don't care. You just got to hit a thumb. So, all right. I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.